Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is right now another Saturday, and yet again, I'm filming this at 7 o'clock in the morning. Why am I filming this at 7 o'clock in the morning? Watch last week's video. What did Trevor Lawrence say? Yeah, that was the same scenario. So anyway, this week was crazy for sports news. It sort of died down though, like around Thursday and Friday. So not so much sports news, but hey, we had hot dog eating contests. Like that was probably the only sports news that I did not have any hot dog eating contests. Just so I can put that clear. But the Speed Eaters, no Joey Chestnut, new champion of hot dog eating, all that jazz. I don't know. They just scarf down hot dogs. I don't know I don't even know if I want to know what happens after that. Like, if you know anything about what happens to Speed Eaters, please do not. Just anyway, the Spurs signed Paul Brown, the former Golden State Warrior. But not only that, the Mavs acquired Klay Thompson. Oh boy. The end of the Splash Bros era. What does Cash have to say about that? And the Sixers signed Paul George and quite a few others. Are the Sixers championship bound? And then Aaron Rodgers, the trip leaked. The trip has finally been released. Where was he? You have to figure it out during the duration of this video. And two players spoke about their young quarterback teammates. Is this a possible Super Bowl matchup? And Golden State, you're at the end of an era. Big, big, big news. And also, a shocker in Boston. You're going to want to hear this. I could not believe it. Like, folks, I could not believe it. That's coming up right now on CSN. And just like that, we are back. And as you can tell, I'm talking about the Philadelphia 76ers here. The Sixers really loaded up on some good players. But the most notable is Paul George. And the Sixers have just been... And they also got... it's been like Sixers, Warriors. Those two teams have been trading all this free agency so far. But right now, a lot of sports analysts, including myself, are saying that the Sixers are actually championship bound. You have Joel Embiid. If Joel Embiid can stay healthy, if he can stay healthy through the duration of the season, they're really good NBA championship contenders. But these guys that they signed are massive for the hopes of getting to the championship. I mean, Paul George, he's a good basketball player. And the Sixers have a good basketball team, but I just don't know, like, are they really like that team that can go into the championship and win? Because the Western Conference is so stacked right now. Like, Western Conference could just dominate, but you also have the one team from the East. Like, there's only 3 teams that I personally think that can dominate in the NBA from the Eastern Conference. Those teams are Boston, New York, and the Sixers. Those are the 3 teams, the big 3. Those are the 3 teams, okay? 3 teams that can really dominate the NBA. But the Sixers just haven't showed that. They've made the playoffs and made big runs, but something's just off with the Sixers. Like, I don't know if it's like they get to the playoffs, the momentum's going, and then someone gets injured, and then it's like catastrophe mode, which is always is with players' mindsets. It's always, your head just always goes into catastrophe mode. and that's just how things go sometimes. So yeah, that's just stinks that the Sixers just can't get that far. I would love to see my Nuggets play the Sixers in the NBA title game because I know we would win. So, yeah, I think the Sixers are absolutely capable of going to the title game, but also they just need. Last year they probably could have made the title game if Boston is not that good, if New York wasn't that good, if the teams that they had that road to the playoffs was pretty like this. It was very bumpy. So, I mean, it was full of roadblocks too. So, yeah, the Sixers just eventually couldn't go, and they decided to turn back. Like that's just. I mean, they wanted to win that series against New York. I completely understand that. I was rooting for them that whole series, but it just didn't happen. So, yeah. But I was also rooting for the Sixers because they're the underdogs in the series, and underdogs upsetting makes pretty good sports stories. So, yeah. But I didn't have my channel at that time, but I should have. It would have been really good. Anyway, past the 76ers, coming up are the Spurs signed Paul Brown. Does that change anything in the Western Conference? Coming up next. And we're back. I'm talking about the Spurs. Why am I talking about the Spurs? Last year, the number one pick in the draft. They were so hyped last year that like my Buffs probably could have compared, but they were. This is just a whole nother sport. But right now, Buffs are still pretty hyped, but not as hyped as last year. This team, no one really cares about anymore, and let me tell you why. They haven't been that good lately. FYI. They have just not been that good lately. Sure, they signed a Golden State Warrior, but why am I talking about the Spurs legitimately? Like, sure, I have a San Antonio Brahma shirt on, but I could not possibly care less about the Spurs. So, anyway, gonna take that off the logo board. I'm gonna put in the Warriors logo onto the logo board. So cross off the Spurs and in with the Golden State Warriors. The Mavericks acquired Klay Thompson. The Mavericks have been very good. So give the Mavericks some credit. They got Klay Thompson. They made the championship last year. Are they championship contenders, Cash? Well, here's the deal. Golden State just lost three key players. Two or three key players due to free agents. Klay Thompson and Paul Brown. Steph Curry, he may be one of the best Golden State Warriors of all time, but he cannot just carry that load alone. That's ridiculous. Why would you let your best player carry your team alone? So, right now I just find it ridiculous that this Warriors are just throwing away their era. Like, era's over. Who cares anymore? I just find that very, very odd. Just right now, it's weird not to have the Golden State Warriors such a beast of a team. Two years ago, they were NBA champions. They beat the Celtics. A year later, the Nuggets won. And 2 years later, the Celtics won. what has happened in those 2 years to the Warriors? Like, the Warriors have just been not that. I don't know. Something's off with the Warriors, though. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't really care what it is. They just are not being the Warriors team that we hyped them to be forever. So now the demise, whatever, however you pronounce it, or the downfall is clear. The Warriors are not going to the championship anytime soon. So you got 3 other California teams to root for. So there's that. But there's also a there's a long list of teams that can compete in the Western Conference. I can just name them off one by one. I can say Denver, Los Angeles, we'll get to them in a minute. Both LA's, the Clippers and the Lakers, the Mavericks, the Thunder, the T-Wolves, and the Kings. The Kings, too. So really, that's 8 teams. That's 7 teams that can make, that I think that could be NBA championship worthy. I don't know. But Golden State, ladies and gentlemen, is at the end of an era. The Splash Bros broke up, separated now by, well, they're separated by, let's just say, Arizona and New Mexico and half of Texas. So now, I don't know. I think that we all know that the Warriors are done. They're not doing anything next year. They will not make the title. I will say that right now. And if the Warriors make the NBA title next year, I will get a Warriors shirt and wear it on this channel. That's not gonna happen. So, and I don't bet that much. I don't even like gambling or betting, but that's a bet that I would like to make. So, there you go. They're just not going to the championship. Okay, so that's 2 things done with. We're going to stay in the NBA with the Lakers. Bronny James with Papa James. Coming up next. Alright, and we are back. So, we're talking about the Lakers. Bronny James got into a big deal. Are the Lakers officially title contenders? Yes, they are. Because Bronny James and LeBron James is not the whole scenario here. They have a new head coach. And last year, even in the NFL, we saw C.J. Stroud and the new head coach, DeMeco Ryans, come in and say that we're going to be better. So, and I think that the Lakers can do that. So the Lakers are really, really title contenders this season, and I believe that they can make the title. But I don't think that they'll beat this team if they have to play them. The Joker is just pulling the jokes out of the bag, and he will. Bronny James can go to the G League if he wants. Like, if they want to develop him, you should just go to the. Just send him to the. He's going to be playing in the NBA Summer League. Sure, he will. But dang nabbit, why are we saying that he can't go to the G League? He'll probably will start in that first game of the season. I guarantee it. Guarantee that he will start unless he gets injured. And then they'll probably send him to the G League. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It really just doesn't. So, in truth, that's just the truth. Anyway, shocker in Boston. I'm going to take this off the board. I'm going to put this. I'm just going to hold the Celtics logo because it's going to be a lot to take in. Ladies and gentlemen, Celtics fans that have no idea about this news. The Boston Celtics are selling the franchise. I repeat, the Boston Celtics are selling the franchise. What? How are the Celtics selling their franchise? They have the best team that the Celtics have fielded. They had 80 wins, 22 losses, regular season and postseason. So why are they selling that franchise? Because they wanted to. Second of all, there you have it. The Celtics are selling their franchise. I have no idea who it's going to be. But anyway, that's enough basketball. We finally found out where Aaron Rodgers was lurking. Where was he? Where did he go? And a couple of players spoke out and said their quarterbacks are going to be top level QBs. And then another one emerged. Coming up next. Alright, and we are back. 3 quarterbacks were named this week by either their news network or their players to be championship contenders and one of the best athletes. Joe Burrow is among them. Bengals Wire said that he can be as good as anyone in the league when healthy. And he is going to be healthy this year, I hope. So, there's that. Then, guess what? CJ Stroud, one of his teammates said CJ Stroud is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I don't see Travis Kelce saying that about Patrick Mahomes. I don't know, maybe just got in a fight or something. I don't know. But also, Patrick Mahomes is pretty well established as one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And then, the Packers had someone on their team say Jordan Love is going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. Wow. I can believe that, actually. Why can I believe it? Because Jordan Love had that team last year. He inherited it. And he had a big chip on his shoulders. But he not only had a chip on his shoulders, he had big weights as well. He had a burden. He had a lot of other things. Because Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, those are the 2 quarterbacks that came before him. And they were both 2 of the greatest of all time quarterbacks. And they both won a Super Bowl with Green Bay. So, folks, I think that before Jordan Love retires, he's going to at least get to see the Super Bowl lights. At least once. And he's going to be a terrific quarterback. So, there you have it. I also agree with the same with CJ Stroud. Joe Burrow, we've already established that. Alright. And now the news you've all been waiting for. Where is Aaron Rodgers? Well, we found out. He skipped minicamp. Here we go. He skipped, I did not write this down. He skipped minicamp to go on a trip to Egypt. There you have it. That's all I know. He went to Egypt. And there you are. And that is your sports news for this week. Are you excited about next week? I am so excited. There's going to be a whole lot of more news next week. NHL free agency still underway. Not a whole lot of notable players that I have any idea that they are. Oh yeah, the Kraken got the first NBA NHL female behind the bench coach. So good job, Kraken. Thank you for watching this special edition of CSN Don't forget to like and subscribe. And also don't forget to ring the bell. Ding. Hope you had a great 4th of July, folks. And until next time, see you on CSN.